The games of November the 23rd, second to last week of the regular season, Saturday before Thanksgiving.
You suck, John. Stop trying to take away my fall.
And in this week in the Big Ten Conference, Michigan State over Purdue, Ohio State over Indiana, the Rutgers beats Illinois, USC over UCLA. It's a rivalry. Great Big Ten rivalry.
Huge Big Ten rivalry.
Michigan over Northwestern, Maryland over Iowa. That's right. I picked Iowa to lose.
Nice.
Wow. Told you. Mega Simulation loves skinny Mike Loxley. Penn State over Minnesota. And finally, Nebraska beats Wisconsin.
Let's go.
Welcome to the cheese, Nebraska.
All right, Nick. No. So what are they, 7-4 now? I think they're 7. And since they're not on the graphic, I think they're 7-4.
I think they have 3 losses now.
Well, then why aren't they on there? Oh, because they have 3 conference losses.
3 conference losses.
They're 8-3. Oh my gosh.
A 4 with 1 week to go in the regular season. A 4-way tie for first.
Interesting. It's almost like you did this on purpose.
No.
We should have called this the Fired for Football soapbox simulation.
I picked all these games in a vacuum. I was not keeping track
Was it a Dyson?
of any
was
of
it a
this
shark?
stuff.
Oh.
All of this
Dirt
stuff
Devil?
in a vacuum. Maryland, Iowa, Rutgers, all at 6-2. So yeah, we got a log jam. ACC. Notre Dame beat Army this week.
Oh, congrats.
Georgia,
Holy crap, there's so many games.
Georgia, yeah, exactly. Georgia Tech over NC State, Boston College over North Carolina.
Boston College.
Then Clemson played the Citadel. Who cares? Virginia Tech over Duke. Syracuse, they played UConn. Who cares? Cal Stanford, great ACC rivalry.
Oh, the game. They call this the game. Or do they call it the big game? No, that's the Super Bowl. This is the game.
Florida State, Louisville at 7-1. Virginia Tech at 6-1. With Clemson 6-2. North Carolina and SMU at 5-2. Again, teams very bunched close to the top of the standings. How are we going to break all these ties? I have no idea. In the Big 12, where things are a little more controlled.
Wow, it's a bit more normal over there.
Oh, it's very normal because Utah beats Iowa State.
Undefeated.
Arizona State over BYU. K-State over Cincinnati. Kansas over Colorado.
Suck on that, Prime.
West Virginia over UCF. That was the big game of the week.
Oh, man, huge game.
That dropped UCF down to 3rd place, and now it's Utah and K-State.
Wow, that classic UCF West Virginia rivalry. By the way, Kansas State and Utah, I don't believe that they are playing in the regular season this year. So there is some hope that they meet in the conference championship game. That would be a fun game. Those two teams matching up against each other, I'd watch.
Find out next week in the Mega Simulation. Now to the SEC. Auburn over A&M. LSU over Vandy. Mizzou over Mississippi State. Oklahoma beats Alabama.
What?
Alabama.
Arkansas over Louisiana Tech. Texas over Kentucky. Ole Miss over Florida. And then you had Tennessee, South Carolina, and Georgia playing scrub teams. Texas, 7-0, 11-0.
Wow.
Tell me that the Mega Simulation is biased.
John calls them the scrubs. You call them the dregs.
Dregs. Yeah, you are not being very biased here, John. You love Texas in the Mega Simulation. I love to see it. Go Horns.
John says horns up all the time.
Ole Miss at 6-1. So what does that leave us in the college football playoff conversation?
Tell me. Oh, my gosh.
It's still a very crowded field.
We've
lost a couple of one-loss teams, but now they're just a member of the very crowded field of 10 two-loss teams. These are just Power 4 teams, by the way.
Two-loss teams.
With
two hot coffees.
Texas, Utah, Oregon, and Florida State are your top 4.
Hell yeah.
Your 10-1 schools who are not in the top 4 include Notre Dame, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Penn State, Tennessee, and Virginia Tech. And then you have 10 schools at 9-2.
So we're still looking at 20 teams that are in the race here with a week to go in the regular season.
There's a lot of teams.
John, if this is true, this is going to be the greatest year of all time. I said that recently. I said it's going to be the best season ever. And you said, you always say that. But I'm right.
I think eventually, the first few years will be fun, and then we're going to get used to it.
Don't you say that. Don't you ever say that.
Well, we're never going to get used to it because they're going to, but
They'll change it again.
They're going to change it.
They'll change it again.
They're going to change
What do we got next week, John? AKA tomorrow.
So Thanksgiving week, the games of major playoff significance. Maryland at Penn State. Skinny Mike Loxley.
Just 3?
Michigan at Ohio State, and Utah at UCF. But keep in mind, you've got other schools. I mean, these are just the teams that have 0, 1, or 2 losses.
You can see upsets.
You could see upsets.
Maybe Nebraska will beat Iowa again.
Maybe they
People forget
will.
the last time they played in Iowa City, Nick. Nebraska, as a 4-win team, beat Iowa.
Maybe they will, or maybe they won't. But next
You
week,
stop it.
next week,
Yeah?
you will get the full standings and who will play in the conference championship games
Very fun.
tomorrow as we wrap up Fired Up for Football Mega Simulation 24.
Awesome.